But what I didn't bargain for, and what I am getting upset with, and what is almost bouncing on my exact last nerve, are the two dogs that will not shut the fuck up at all for any reason at all.
No, I was like, your dogs cause you more trouble than your kids.
Have you ever seen two dogs like this? Am I exaggerating, or is this like because I've had some people ask me, oh man, come on, you let up on the dogs. They're just trying to protect your house. No, they're not.
they're not protective
what they're doing.
dogs.
I'm going to tell you a story about Bryan's house. Let me tell you a story. Let me show you how much my dogs protect my house. We got this house recently renovated before we moved back into it. Yeah. It's an old house. It was built in the 40s, late 40s. And then we just, we spit shine and polished it, basically. What they call paint carpeted it. Add some square footage and all this other stuff. But because it's such an old house, there is a crawl space underneath it. Uh-huh. And we live in Atlanta near the Chattahoochee River. Anytime that you have a river, you can expect that there are rats.
Rats or snakes.
And snakes and mice.
Yes.
Right? That's just it. That's anytime you live near a body of water, the water animals come. And rats are one of them. I also happen to have an in-ground pool, which is a lovely place for animals of all sizes to take a bath.
Come and frolic.
Or to come and frolic, take a bath, or to drink their water. So we've never had a problem with any kind of rodents in this house. Never. Until a couple of days ago. A week ago, 2 weeks ago. And Astrid came in the bedroom early one morning, and she's freaked out. And she's holding an avocado in her hand. And she's like, honey. And she's like stuffing this avocado in my face as I'm trying to wake up. Look at the fuck, it's an avocado. But it had little chew marks in it. Oh. And she found it on the floor of the kitchen. So my first inclination is to think that it fell off the kitchen counter. And we have a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables hanging around the kitchen counter. Fell off the kitchen counter, and then Niko or one of the dogs got into it. Mm-hmm. But a closer examination, it's not dog teeth. And Niko has no teeth. So since Niko has no teeth.
Niko doesn't have any teeth.
He's not eating anything that needs teeth. So I'm like, oh, shit.
What's been eating the avocado?
Niko sleeps in the kitchen. Niko sleeps in the dining room, which is next to the kitchen. And Blue sleeps in our bedroom. Because Niko has this persistent cough that has not gone away, and no doctor has figured out what it is. So it's Niko being a hypochondriac, and Niko walks around.
And he's got a pungent odor.
And when Niko starts to go, and he's got a pungent, he's probably smelling himself and like,
probably is.
That's gross. What is that? Disgusting. So Niko starts coughing in the middle of the night, then Blue gets up and Blue attacks Niko, and then Niko just gets crazy, and it's the whole fucking thing that goes around, round all night. So we separated the two. And Niko was fine sleeping out there. He likes sleeping out there. We put him next to the heat register. He's an old dog. He shakes when it gets a little too cold. He's like just a decrepit old dog.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I go and I take every appliance out of the house. I go through every cabinet. I go everywhere, and I seal up every hole that I know to seal up, right? Everything that I see that has a hole, I find out, I think, where they're coming from. Which is through the crawl space behind the wall. And then there was like a hole where the dishwasher was. And I was like, okay, this must be it. Did the whole 9 yards. I used like 16 cans of that foam shit behind my appliances and sealed up everything, right? I don't want rodents in my house. I have small children. No one wants a rodent in the house. So for 2 nights, there is no more additional appearances of the rodent. We don't see any signs of it. Take all the food off there. Nothing. Nada. Nothing.
Good.
Great. Good. Wonderful.
Then you start to relax.
But then we start to relax. And on the 3rd night, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Santa Claus comes down the fucking chimney with 2 little squeaky ears and a long tail. And he starts digging into a palm tree that we have in our front of our living room, our dining room. That palm tree is less than 2.5 feet from where Niko sleeps. 2.5 feet from where my dog sleeps. Mm-hmm. And it has been dug through. And the vines of the bottom of the vines of this little palm tree combination have all been chewed up. Niko, there's a fucking rat in front of Niko's face, and Niko cannot figure it out. He's dead. He's either sleeping or too lazy or too scared to do anything about it.
Yeah, he probably ran into the other.
I'll look the other way, bro.
Yeah, just you're not here.
Yeah, you're not here. Don't worry about it. You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything, you hear, you little shithead. I'm gonna bite your little neck. So Niko, the incredibly acute guard dog, has a rat running around him in the middle of the night, and he doesn't even know what the fuck is going on.
He doesn't do anything.
Meanwhile, Blue thinks there's a rat everywhere. It just barks incessantly at everything. Blue barks at the wall. This house is chaos. It's mass chaos, and it's because of those two dogs.
It is.
We did see the rat. We bought a camera. It wasn't a rat. It was a mouse, actually. Excuse me. It was a mouse.
Jeff and I had a mouse one time.
Yeah. In your apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We did.
Yeah, did it? They're hard to get rid of once they get there. Yeah. Once they get a taste of that sweet nectar, they're not.
There's a mouse.
Did you
it was
see
underneath
it?
the stairs. Yeah, we had like this loft apartment thing.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
the
yeah,
loft?
yeah.
And it was underneath the stairs. And I remember I kind of looked. I don't know why I was on the ground looking, but I looked and there was the mouse. And I was like, ah!
So what did you do?
And we had to
Call the maintenance guys?
Yeah, we called the maintenance guys and they were able to come out and take care of it. But
God.
It was scary.
My wife's just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, and I know it's not scary in the scheme of things,
scary.
but it's when you least expect it. It's
Correct.
like if I go to the zoo and they have a snake handling thing, I'm happy to handle the snakes, pet the snakes.
No
but
problem.
If I see a tiny little snake out of the blue that I'm not ready for,
crazy.
my adrenaline is gonna pump and
100 miles per hour.
running. Yeah.
When I was married with my ex Julia, we had a house over in downtown Atlanta. When downtown Atlanta was starting to experience this incredible like boom of construction in the mid 2000s, like 2004, 5, 6, Atlanta just like exploded with all these new huge developments, like mixed use developments that went on and kind of made the city what it is today. And one of these was across the street from our neighborhood. And when there was an old hotel there called the Castle Gate Hotel, which the old Castle Gate. That's right. Which I stayed at a few times, which should have been called Hooker Gate because it was.
Why were you staying there?
Don't ask me. I was homeless and I needed a place to stay, and someone let me put their credit card down. It was a whole thing. Like I was young. I was like 17. Okay. I stayed there one time, but it looked like a big castle, but it was really just like a crack den.
Yeah, it was run down.
Yeah. And so for years, people went back and forth about buying this property and what it would do and the things that were under it and all this other stuff. But when they raised the hotel, when they tore it down, all of a sudden, what they found was what they call, I think they call it a rat kingdom or a rat ball or a rat whatever. They found like... There's an actual name for it. A rat kingdom.
Or a rat ball.
A rat ball. It's like when the rats are so close together. Please rise for the Rat King. Bryan Green. Walking through the streets singing Sunny Side Up. Sunny Side Up.
Rat ball.
So when they did that, these rats scurried. Like there were tens and tens of thousands of them is what they found. And they really had to do they had to pay a lot. The people who bought it had to pay a lot of money getting rid of all of these rats. But then they scurried into the homes across the street over the next preceding months. And so you would see literally a rodent or an exterminator in every fucking house in our neighborhood for months on end. These exterminators were just making bills of dollars. And then there was a class action lawsuit. And then I don't know if we were a part of it or not, but I remember there was a class action lawsuit. And so we had this like laundry room. And the laundry room had these shelves and these two cabinets on them. This was also a very old house. It was actually built in the 20s or 30s, but it was a very nice house. One story, there was no crawl space to it.
Yeah, I remember that house.
So one day I walked in there and I opened up the cabinet to grab some things, and there was a rat the size of a fucking cat in there.
You busted the rats dancing, trying to recreate the ball.
I busted the rat basically taking control of my house, signing a mortgage basically is what I... It was unbelievable. This fucking rat was huge. And my dog at the time went ape shit. And it was going crazy. And these things we could hear them in the middle of the night, making dinner. Oh my God. We could hear them making dinner in the middle of the night. They were fixing up. Dinner. Yeah, I'm going to make some ramen, Bob. What do you want? And then we'd come out and they'd be, get back in your room. That's your space.
It's our time.
Yeah, it's our time. The dogs would always be scurrying and scratching against so we had to have this guy come out, and man, I'll tell you what, it took months to exterminate all of those rats. But here we have one mouse, I saw it. So I put a camera up, I see it, and then so Astrid is like, let me see the picture. And I'm like, you don't want to see the picture. By the way, the thing is really cute. I actually think it's pretty cute.
Yeah, the thing is the mice. Yeah,
with the little mouse ears. And
they do have the ears. Yeah. They have the actual
little cupped ears. Yes, yeah, like little teacup ears. And they're like, yeah. And listen, he's just looking for a bite to eat, right?
Yeah.
But I finally found out where he was coming from, and I sealed up the hole. And then I had to call the exterminator to charge me $5,000 to seal up every hole outside of the house, which in a house that was built in any house, but a house that was built in the 1950s, it's just like Swiss fucking cheese, you know? So many people have lived here and, punched holes in the walls for this or that. Or you just have these, back in the 50s, the building codes were a little bit different. You slapped a couple pieces of cardboard on two 2x4s and called it a house. And a lot of them are still standing today. So, but the point is, my original point was that this is the kind of fucking guard dog that I have going on here. Niko is dead. I'm sure of it. And at night, he passes off into the ether and he comes back. He dies. Literally, I imagine if I'm not looking at him, he doesn't exist. It's like quantum physics. If I'm not looking at him, he's not existing.
Right.
But anytime I turn my head. And now he started following. Now he has to have a sweater on 24 hours a day. So he looks he looks like Martha fucking Stewart the dog.
He does.
And he follows me around all day now. And I'm like, what, Niko, what? Like, what do you want? Why are you whining at me 24 hours a day? But I can't figure out what the dog wants. Maybe he just wants to die. Maybe he's like, take me to the vet. What's that smell? Oh, man.